Today we will be trying out gaming on a Pixel 5 and let's see how it performs. Here you can see me opening Minecraft, and as soon as I click on the app opened almost immediately. That is a great performance. I mean, for this device it operates on F8 GB RAM, so it kinda makes sense. This device runs on Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G, which is definitely not the best chipset of its time, but also not the worst. It's an upper mid-range chipset from what I can remember, and it it's not that bad. I mean, to use it in 2024, it's still relevant from what I can try and see. I also have my frame per second counter on the right side so you can see how the device performs. So the first gameplay is Minecraft. This game is a pretty blocky type of game, so I have no doubt if you can also run this game at smooth rate, but considering by the fact that I'm running on 12 chunk and I'm on a mountain right now, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. 12 chunks, that's the default settings. My maximum frame rate is also on experimental mode, so it has infinite frame rate for gameplay. So you can see how it spikes up to 90 FPS on the right side, and as I go down the mountain, it kind of goes down lower and reaching around 50 FPS. But in my opinion, that's not as bad. And while I'm getting stuck inside that snow stuff, if you're wondering why I am recording this with using my camera on my other phone, on my shitty phone, well, the reason is simple. Because I don't want to use the screen recorder on this Google Pixel 5 because it can run down the performance and we will not be getting the original gaming performance. I mean, for this camera setup that you can see, it runs on 30 FPS for this camera, so you probably cannot see the best smoothness of this game. But this device, the Google Pixel that I'm playing right now, runs on 90 Hz display, force display. You can see how the frame rate kind of drops right there, but otherwise it runs back smoothly. No much of a trouble. That is a bit of spike of lag spike you just saw. Otherwise, it runs great. There's not much of a problem. I mean, this is Minecraft after all, just a pluggy game, so yeah, it keeps a consistent 50 FPS, which I am surprised. So here is the next game. The next game is going to be Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition on Roblox because I think this is like one of the best game for me to test out the graphic about how it works and how it runs the game. The screen on the Google Pixel 5 is only 6 inch, so it is kind of small on my hand, but otherwise I will get used to it. The font is small due to some device changes. You can also see right there the settings visual that is synced with my laptop. So this game will be running at maximum settings in-game graphic settings while I am running Roblox on the low settings as possible. As we jump into the game at the lowest settings possible with the highest in-game settings, you can see the game actually runs around 30 FPS nice and smoothly. as I went to the forest into the tree areas, the frame rate does actually drop to around 25 FPS, but I still count that as not bad since it is above 15 FPS. So I kind of count that as I can take it type of stuff. As I ran forward, I spiked up the graphic settings and the game runs a bit slow. I can definitely see the difference between 20 FPS and 30 FPS, but surprisingly, it runs well. Not as bad as I thought it would be. At times, the FPS does drop to 10 FPS due to some spike, but otherwise, you can actually run this game well without crashing on maximum settings, which is pretty surprising. To furthermore test out the device performance, we are going to try out car parking multiplayer. Online game usually has, like online people in the server, so usually you get a lot of lag due to the game server loading players and cars and stuff, so I wouldn't have such a high hope for such a game, but for this device, surprisingly, it runs well. From what I can see, it kind of has that frame drops at certain points, but at this map, it runs at a smooth 40 FPS at high graphic settings. There is an obvious frame drop when you drive in populated areas, in urban areas, but I think the device kind of runs pretty good, and yeah, it keeps a consistent 30 FPS at most of the times. It's not a bad phone if you want to go for gaming and stuff. And pushing the gaming performance furthermore on this device, I am choosing much more graphically heavy type of game, and this being Aerofly FS Global. We will be using a 737-900, a Boeing 737-900 ER, and the graphic settings is going to be the default settings, which is medium and also 80% pixel density. For this graphically demanding game, well, there is a consistent part where the frame is actually consistent, but most of the time there is times where the FPS kind of drops to around lower than what I expected. I mean, usually it reaches a consistent 15 FPS, but for me it's not that good if you want to play this type of game, definitely. But for the fact that it kept a consistent 10 FPS and above, that's actually pretty crazy. So yeah guys, that's the performance of this Google Pixel 5, the flagship Google phone of 2020. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe or like, bell the bell, and I'll see you guys next one.